Have you ever sensed that quiet sting of envy from someone close to you? It's a subtle, unsettling feeling, one that can quietly shake your peace and chip away at your self-worth. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the hidden signs that someone might be secretly envious of you. Stick around to the end. We'll explore practical tools to protect your emotional well-being and cultivate relationships built on authenticity and support. By recognizing these patterns, you'll be empowered to set boundaries and create a healthier, more positive circle around you. These insights could truly change the way you navigate your relationships, so don't miss out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're always in the loop. Your support genuinely means the world. If you find this episode helpful, please take a moment to like and share it. It helps more than you know. And let me know how I'm doing. If you like the topic, comment 1. If not, comment 0. Your feedback helps me make every episode better for you. Let's dive into sign 1. Praise with embedded criticism. Have you ever received a compliment that didn't quite feel right, like it came with strings attached? Maybe someone said something nice, but the tone or wording made you pause. That's not a coincidence. Often, what sounds like praise is actually a subtle jab meant to downplay your achievements. Picture this. You've just earned a well-deserved promotion at work. Instead of celebrating with you, someone says, "Wow, that was lucky." Or, "Congrats, it must have been easy for you." These aren't compliments. They're veiled criticisms, an attempt to make your success seem less earned and more accidental. This kind of backhanded praise is a clear sign of envy. When someone is secretly jealous, they struggle to honor your success without feeling the weight of their own disappointments. By minimizing your wins, they're trying to shield themselves from their insecurities. But make no mistake, this is about them, not you. Still, hearing those kinds of comments can sting. It's more than just disrespect. It chips away at your confidence over time. That's why it's crucial to remember, someone else's envy does not diminish your worth. Their inability to celebrate you says more about their inner battles than your accomplishments. In these moments, stand firm in your self-belief. Own your journey. And if a relationship becomes consistently toxic or drains your energy, it may be time to create space or set firm boundaries. Protecting your emotional well-being is not selfish, it's necessary. True praise comes from a place of joy, not jealousy. Surround yourself with those who genuinely cheer you on, who light up at your victories. Learn to recognize the difference between real encouragement and disguised criticism. It's a powerful skill that will help you build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. And if you're still here listening and finding value in these lessons, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Your support means everything. Sign 2. Lack of enthusiasm for your successes. You've just hit a major milestone. Maybe it's a new job, a promotion, a creative win, or something deeply personal. Naturally, you expect your friends or colleagues to share in your excitement. After all, these are the people you've trusted to walk beside you, to cheer you on when you shine. But then, something feels off. Instead of heartfelt congratulations, you're met with silence, or worse, indifference. They quickly change the subject, offer a lukewarm, nice without eye contact, or subtly downplay what you've accomplished. It stings. This kind of emotional detachment can be a powerful red flag. It's often a signal that someone may be grappling with envy. Rather than celebrating your win, they're caught up in their own internal dialogue. Why them, not me? That jealousy, whether conscious or not, can prevent them from showing genuine happiness for you. And when that indifference comes from someone you truly care about, a friend, a teammate, a partner, it can be deeply disheartening. Their inability to share in your joy feels personal. It shakes your sense of who's really in your corner. But here's the truth. Jealousy is human. It happens. Still, it doesn't excuse the emotional distance or the failure to show support. You deserve to be celebrated without restraint or resentment. So, what can you do? Start by shifting your focus toward the people who do light up when you succeed, the ones who genuinely applaud your efforts. These are the relationships that matter, the ones built on trust, not competition. And if the timing feels right, don't be afraid to speak up. A calm, honest conversation like, "Hey, I noticed you didn't seem very excited about my news. Did I misunderstand something?" can open a door. Sometimes it clears the air. Sometimes it doesn't. Either way, you've honored your feelings. Most importantly, don't let someone else's silence mute your pride. You worked hard. You earned this. Celebrate boldly. Celebrate fully. Surround yourself with people who lift you, not question why you're rising. Your journey deserves applause. Make sure it comes from the right audience. Sign 3. Constant comparisons. Have you ever been around someone who just can't help but compare themselves to you, no matter the situation? Whether it's your career, personal milestones, or even something as simple as a new hobby, they always find a way to measure themselves against you. It might seem subtle at first, maybe even harmless. But over time, this pattern reveals something deeper. Picture this. You share that you've started painting as a creative outlet, feeling excited and proud. And instead of support, you're met with, "Oh, I've been doing that too. I'm actually pretty advanced now." Or, "I did something like that last year, finished twice as fast." It might be said with a smile, but the intent cuts through, to outshine you. This behavior, this constant need to one-up, to insert themselves into your story, is often rooted in insecurity and quiet jealousy. These individuals aren't truly focused on growth or self-celebration. Instead, they're locked in a mental game of comparison where your success feels like their failure unless they can match or surpass it. But here's the thing. Comparison is a thief. It doesn't just steal joy, it erodes connection. Instead of celebrating with you, they try to measure up, often at your expense. Over time, this creates a toxic atmosphere where every achievement becomes a silent competition, not a shared victory. And the most exhausting part? It's rarely overt. It's hidden in casual remarks, in subtle shifts of tone, in the constant urge to level the playing field. But make no mistake, it's draining. Especially when you hoped for encouragement and instead received rivalry. So how do you handle it? First, don't play the game. You don't need to justify, defend, or compete. Instead, gently redirect the conversation. Try saying, "That's great. We all grow at our own pace. I'm just enjoying the process." You're not dismissing them. You're affirming yourself. Second, set emotional boundaries. You don't have to absorb their comparisons or let them shape how you feel about your progress. Your journey is yours alone. Let that be enough. And finally, remember this. True confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need to compare, compete, or correct. It celebrates others without losing sight of itself. The more you embrace your own milestones, no matter how big or small, the more you'll attract relationships rooted in mutual respect, not quiet rivalry. Your success doesn't threaten anyone else's unless they're not at peace with their own story. And that's not your burden to carry. Celebrate yourself, protect your energy, and keep walking your path unapologetically. Sign 4. Minimizing your merits. Have you ever shared an achievement, something you poured time, energy, and heart into, only to have someone brush it off as just luck or good timing? It's that quiet dismissal that doesn't scream jealousy, but it whispers it. Instead of recognizing your effort, your talent, and your persistence, they say things like, "You were just in the right place at the right time," or, "Well, that was a lucky break." It's subtle, but it stings. Because in those words, what they're really doing is rewriting your story, minimizing the grind and grit it took to get there. This behavior is often rooted in their own insecurity. It's not about you. It's about them trying to preserve a sense of superiority, or at the very least, avoid feeling left behind. When someone sees your progress as a threat to their self-worth, they might unconsciously, or even consciously, try to shrink your success, to make it seem less real, less deserved. But here's what's crucial. Don't let their words define your worth. Your achievements are not random. They didn't happen by chance. They are the product of your choices, your commitment, your courage to show up and do the work, even when no one was watching. And yes, sometimes opportunities come through timing, but being ready, capable, and persistent when that moment arrives, that's not luck. That's preparation meeting opportunity. That's you. So how do you deal with someone who keeps minimizing your wins? First, don't internalize their words. Instead, affirm yourself. I earned this. I worked for it. Say it out loud if you have to. You don't need their validation to feel proud. Second, be mindful of who you share your victories with. Surround yourself with people who genuinely celebrate you, who uplift, encourage, and honor your growth, no matter how big or small. And when necessary, create distance from those who repeatedly chip away at your confidence. Protect your peace. You are not obligated to keep anyone in your life who can't respect your journey. Most importantly, don't let anyone rewrite your narrative. You are allowed to feel proud. You are allowed to shine. Let their discomfort stay with them. You keep rising. And if you're still here, listening and resonating with these lessons, drop a 2 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Your presence matters. Your success matters. And you deserve to be surrounded by people who recognize that. Sign 5. Gossip and rumors. Have you ever discovered that someone you know has been talking about you behind your back? Spreading rumors, twisting truths, or planting seeds of doubt in others' minds? It's not just hurtful. It's often a glaring sign of envy and a calculated move to undermine your reputation. Gossip is one of the lowest forms of emotional sabotage. It takes no effort, no courage, just insecurity wrapped in manipulation. For some, spreading false or negative information is their way of gaining a temporary sense of power. Instead of doing the work to grow themselves, they try to tear others down, hoping to look better by comparison. But here's what's really happening. Behind every whispered rumor is someone struggling with their own self-worth. Gossip becomes a tool, a way to feel superior, even if only for a fleeting moment. It's not about truth. It's about control. It's not about you. It's about their fear of being overlooked, outshined, or left behind. Yes, dealing with this kind of behavior is exhausting. It can feel personal, even cruel. But here's what's essential to remember. What they say doesn't define you. Their words are a reflection of them, their jealousy, their lack of self-awareness, not of your value or integrity. So, how do you handle it? Start by refusing to play their game. Stay calm. Don't respond with gossip of your own. Let your actions speak. Let your consistency, your honesty, your professionalism build a wall they can't tear down. Over time, your reputation will reflect who you truly are, not who someone bitter says you are. If the situation demands it, you can confront the person, but do it with grace and strength. Approach them calmly. Set the record straight without stooping to their level. Protect your dignity, not just your pride. And most importantly, surround yourself with people who truly know you, who value you, who speak your name with respect, even when you're not in the room. Build a circle of trust, one rooted in kindness and mutual growth. That's where real power lives. Because in the end, truth always outlives lies, and character will always outshine envy. So rise above the noise, protect your peace, and keep showing up as the person you are, authentic, grounded, and unapologetically strong. Sign 6. Unnecessary competitiveness. Have you ever interacted with someone who seems to turn everything into a competition, even the smallest, most mundane moments? You share an accomplishment, and suddenly they're trying to top it. You mention a new goal, and they immediately pivot to their own achievements. What starts as casual conversation slowly becomes a scoreboard, and you're not even playing the game. This kind of behavior often reveals more than ambition. It signals insecurity and jealousy. While healthy competition can be motivating, even fun, There's a clear line between inspiration and obsession. When someone relentlessly tries to outdo you, it's no longer about growth. It's about control. Imagine a simple task, maybe cooking a meal, finishing a project, or even going for a run. Instead of enjoying the shared experience, this person finds a way to make it a contest. "Oh, I did that too. Twice as fast." Or, "That's nothing compared to what I pulled off last week." At first, you might shrug it off. But over time, this constant one-upping creates tension. It drains the joy out of shared victories and replaces connection with rivalry. Conversations stop being about support and start feeling like a battle for the spotlight. So why do people act this way? Often, it stems from a deep fear of not being enough. They measure their value through comparison, not personal growth. Instead of celebrating their own progress, they try to outshine others to feel worthy. But it's a trap, because no matter how much they win, it never truly satisfies. For you, being on the receiving end of this can feel frustrating, exhausting, and even disheartening. You start questioning yourself. You hesitate to share your successes. You feel like you're walking into a competition, not a conversation. Here's how to handle it. First, don't take the bait. You're not obligated to compete. Keep your focus on your path, your growth, your wins, your pace. You don't need to compare yourself to validate your worth. Second, set boundaries. If someone constantly turns every moment into a contest, it's okay to step back. Protect your energy. Choose when and how you engage. And if the relationship matters to you, consider addressing it directly. With calm honesty, say something like, "I've noticed our conversations often turn competitive, and I really value connection over comparison. Can we focus more on supporting each other?" You might be surprised by how eye-opening that can be. Ultimately, life isn't a race, and real fulfillment doesn't come from outpacing others. It comes from integrity, purpose, and growing alongside those who truly want to see you succeed. So embrace your journey, celebrate your milestones, and build relationships that reflect cooperation over competition, because that's where true success thrives. Sign 7. Satisfaction with your failures. Have you ever had the unsettling feeling that someone around you takes quiet pleasure in your failures? They may not say it outright, but their reaction speaks volumes. Maybe it's a subtle smile when you're struggling, or a carefully worded, "Well, that's just how life goes," that feels just a little too smug. You can sense it. They're not sad about your setbacks. They're satisfied. This kind of behavior is one of the more toxic signs of envy and jealousy. And while it's rarely overt, it's deeply damaging. When someone silently cheers your misfortunes, it's usually because your success makes them feel small, and your struggles give them momentary relief from their own feelings of inadequacy. It's not always easy to recognize. It might show up in the way they retell your failures to others, with a hint of amusement, or in their lack of empathy when you're going through a hard time. These reactions, no matter how slight, reveal a truth they're trying to hide. They're more invested in your failure than your growth. But here's what's important. Don't let their behavior discourage you or define you. Your failures, your setbacks, are not signs of weakness. They are part of your evolution. Every stumble is a lesson, every hardship a chance to rise. And the people who truly care about you, they lean in during your low moments. They support, uplift, encourage. That's what real connection looks like. So when you sense someone quietly enjoying your downfall, let that be a signal, not of your inadequacy, but of their own inner conflict. You don't need that kind of energy in your space. Distance yourself from those who thrive on your struggles. They're not part of your solution. They're part of the weight holding you back. Instead, surround yourself with people who root for you, who want to see you win, even when you're temporarily off track. And remember this, your worth isn't determined by how perfectly you succeed, but by how powerfully you rise. You are not defined by what goes wrong. You're defined by how you grow through it. So hold your head high. Keep moving forward, Let their satisfaction in your failures be drowned out by your quiet, steady progress. Because that's the ultimate triumph. Growing, thriving, and living fully in spite of those who hoped you wouldn't. Sign 8. Behavioral changes. Have you ever dealt with someone whose behavior toward you shifts dramatically from day to day, leaving you confused, off balance, and constantly second-guessing the relationship? One moment they're warm, enthusiastic, even affectionate, and the next, they've gone cold, distant, or dismissive. It's like walking on emotional quicksand. This kind of erratic behavior often points to something deeper than mood swings. It's a sign that jealousy and insecurity are quietly shaping their interactions with you. And when someone is wrestling with envy, especially envy of someone they care about, it can show up in the most unpredictable ways. Here's what's really happening. When they feel secure, when they're not comparing themselves to you, they're able to be kind and present. But the moment your success, confidence, or light triggers their self-doubt, they pull back. Sometimes they become passive-aggressive. Other times they shut down altogether. These shifts aren't about your actions. They're about their internal struggle. They might not even realize it themselves, but they're trying to protect their ego, to avoid feeling less than by creating emotional distance from you. Then, once that threat has passed or they feel better about themselves, they return to being warm again, as if nothing happened. But for you, the experience is exhausting. The inconsistency can make you question your worth. It can cause anxiety, confusion, and a constant urge to fix things, when in reality, you're not the problem. So how do you deal with it? First, stay grounded in your own emotional truth. Don't let their fluctuating behavior shake your sense of stability. Who you are and what you bring to the relationship doesn't change just because someone else is struggling with insecurity. Second, set healthy boundaries. You don't have to ride the roller coaster of someone else's emotional volatility. Let them know gently but firmly that you expect consistency and respect. It's not about punishing them. It's about protecting your peace. And finally, don't personalize their behavior. Their inconsistency reflects their battle with self-worth, not your value as a person. Remind yourself that your worth isn't determined by how someone treats you. It's defined by how you carry yourself, even when others are unstable. Look for relationships where the energy is steady, where love and respect don't disappear the moment you shine a little brighter. Because those are the people who will help you grow, not hold you back. And if you're still here, still listening, drop a 3 in the comments to let me know you're with me. These lessons matter, and your presence means more than you know. Sign 9. Subtle undermining. Have you ever noticed someone quietly chipping away at your confidence? Not through direct insults, but with soft, calculated remarks that leave you second-guessing yourself? This is what we call subtle undermining, and it can be one of the most insidious forms of jealousy. It doesn't come with raised voices or blatant disrespect. Instead, it shows up in small, seemingly harmless ways. A smirk when you speak, an offhand comment that discredits your idea, or a polite dismissal disguised as feedback. In a meeting, you might suggest a creative approach and hear something like, "Interesting, but probably not realistic," or, "I think someone else already mentioned something similar." On the surface, these comments sound mild, but over time, they accumulate. And the effect? They erode your confidence, slowly making you question the value of your ideas, your voice, and even your presence. This behavior often comes from a place of insecurity. When someone feels threatened by your capability, success, or potential, they might not challenge you directly. Instead, they choose a safer route, quietly undercutting your credibility without triggering open conflict. It allows them to feel in control, to protect their ego, without appearing confrontational. But don't be fooled. Subtle doesn't mean harmless. Repeated undermining, no matter how understated, can take a serious toll on your self-esteem. It's emotional manipulation, cloaked in politeness. And the worst part? It can be hard to name, let alone call out, because it's designed to be just vague enough to go unnoticed. So what can you do? First, Recognize the pattern. The moment you notice a repeated cycle of dismissive remarks, interruptions, or downplayed achievements, take note. Trust your intuition. These aren't isolated slips. They're signs. Second, don't absorb their doubt. Your value doesn't diminish because someone else feels the need to suppress it. Reaffirm the worth of your contributions. You're not here to prove yourself to those who quietly hope you'll shrink. If it becomes persistent, address it calmly and directly. Try something like, "I've noticed my ideas often get dismissed without discussion. I'd really appreciate more constructive feedback." This invites honesty without escalating conflict, and it sets a boundary, one rooted in self-respect. And finally, surround yourself with people who see you clearly, who elevate your voice instead of silencing it, who respect your presence instead of challenging it in passive ways. Subtle undermining may be quiet, but your response doesn't have to be. Stay grounded. Speak up. Keep showing up fully, because your ideas have power and your presence has value, even when others try to pretend otherwise. Sign 10. Insincerity. Have you ever been on the receiving end of praise that just didn't feel real? Maybe someone offered congratulations, but it sounded rehearsed. Their words were polished, their smile practiced. But something in your gut told you, this isn't genuine. That's not your imagination. That's your intuition picking up on insincerity, a subtle yet powerful form of emotional disconnect. And more often than not, it's a mask for jealousy. When someone feels envious of your success but doesn't want to appear unsupportive, they might go through the motions. They'll say all the right things, but their tone lacks warmth, their eyes lack sincerity, and their actions don't quite match their words. It feels like a performance, because it is. You might hear praise that's overly enthusiastic, exaggerated, or oddly timed. Or see them post a supportive comment online, but never reach out personally. Their congratulations become more about maintaining appearances than genuinely sharing in your joy. And here's the truth. This kind of insincerity isn't about you. It's about what's happening within them. Often, it stems from insecurity, comparison, or a deep discomfort with your success. They may feel inadequate or threatened, and instead of facing those feelings, they cover them with hollow gestures. But while this behavior might seem harmless, it can be deeply disorienting. You're left navigating mixed signals, words that say one thing, but energy that says another. Over time, it can make you question yourself, your instincts, even your relationships. So what can you do? First, trust your inner compass. If something feels off, it usually is. Don't dismiss your own emotional intelligence. Tune in to how people make you feel, not just what they say. Second, pay attention to consistency. Authentic people show up the same way whether you're winning or struggling. Their support feels steady, sincere, and safe. That's the kind of energy you want to surround yourself with. And finally, don't settle for surface-level connections. Invest in relationships where encouragement is real, where celebration comes from the heart, not from a sense of obligation. Because your success deserves more than polite applause. It deserves genuine joy. Protect your emotional space by setting boundaries with those who perform connection but don't truly live it. Your energy is precious. Pour it into people who are honest, supportive, and invested in your growth. Not just those who pretend to be. Because at the end of the day, authenticity is the foundation of meaningful connection, and your worth is far too great to be diminished by insincere praise. Conclusion. Thank you so much for being here, truly. I'm grateful you joined us on this journey to better understand the subtle, often hidden signs of envy and how they can quietly shape our relationships and well-being. Together, we've explored 10 powerful indicators, from backhanded praise and emotional detachment to quiet competition, subtle undermining, and even insincerity. Each of these signs reveals something deeper about the people around us and about the emotional dynamics we often overlook. So now, I'd love to hear from you. Which sign resonated with you the most? What insight are you walking away with today? And how do you plan to apply it in your own life? Take a moment to comment below and share one takeaway or practice you're committed to exploring. Your voice matters, and your reflections might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. When we share our stories, we create space for others to grow too. If you found this episode helpful, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It helps us reach more people and continue producing thoughtful, empowering content like this. Your support genuinely makes a difference. Thank you again for listening, for reflecting, and for growing alongside us. Stay mindful, stay grounded, and we'll see you in the next episode.